Prior to 3.0, all we knew about the Etheric Sea was that it's a huge body of water in the sky that's responsible for Tacet discords. Thanks to the 3.1 main story, we finally have more information, so let's talk about it. First, we'll talk about the Etheric Sea and how it's connected to the Lament. Along the way, we'll also discuss a bunch of other things like what frequencies actually are. The Etheric Sea is a weather phenomenon exclusive to Solaris, which is made up of super dense masses of remnant energy that covers certain parts of the planet like a blanket. There is a space station called Skyark that remains in close orbit to analyze the specific remnant energy that the Etheric Sea is comprised of. Based on those results, the scientists aboard has theorized that this energy can be used to travel to places previously unreachable by conventional space travel. However, due to the first Lament, the Etheric Sea began to rapidly cover all of Solaris, completely cutting humanity off from the rest of the universe. This is because under it, the skies refract any signals coming in or out. You can think of it like seeing a distorted straw in a glass cup. Of course, if you take the straw out, you can check to make sure that it is indeed straight. But once you put it back into the water, you can see that the shape seems to deform. In a post-Lament world, humanity can't do that. They can't do the equivalent of taking the straw out. Because of this, humanity has no way to verify if the skies that we currently see are real or not. You may have noticed that the moon and stars are different depending on the region. The night sky of Jinzhou, Black Shores, Reguna, Septimont, and Lahai Roi all have their own unique skies and nightscapes. And with entities like Aleph-1 and the Exostrider, who both appeared from space through the Strider Gate, it begs the question. Just what else is out there? Can humanity properly prepare? And how can they prepare for anything when certainty and verification is impossible? Moving on to the Lament. To put it simply, it's the term for a great disaster, which can vary in scale and scope, much like natural disasters in real life. According to the Tacet system, there has been 5 global laments around Solaris 3, but over 300,000 regional ones. In Lahai Roi, global laments are called epochs. In Roian history, the first epoch is called the Great Glacial Lock, where a massive disaster turned Lahai Roi, which was previously a rainforest with rivers and wetlands, into a frozen desert. Not all laments are apocalyptic disasters, but they're all still pretty horrible nonetheless. As of right now, we don't really know how they started. Past rover tried to have Tacet simulate all of civilization to figure out the how, when, and why, but nothing really worked out, and the heavy calculating load nearly broke Tacet. So at the moment, until another simulation can be run, that mystery remains unsolved. Back to the Etheric Sea. Yes, it's made up of remnant energy, but what does that mean exactly? In Solaris, everything is made up of frequencies. What kind of cataclysmic event made the world the way it is, as of 3.1 Part 1, that's still a mystery. So, for the coherency of this video, let's just assume that it's the first Lament's fault. Let's bring up a random object, a pebble. We know that a pebble is matter. It's tangible and has weight. It also has information that we can define to others. It could be coarse, smooth, or whatever. Said pebble also has energy, which is how it maintains its shape. In a post-Lament world, all matter, information, and energy has been reduced to frequencies, and remnant energy is the purest form of it. It also contains information that goes beyond space and time, and these properties are likely how the scientists aboard the Skyark intend to innovate on space travel. However, remnant energy is also subject to decay. Let's go back to our pebble example. To continue to exist, this pebble will expend energy. This spent energy is defined as reverberation. You can imagine it like radiation. These reverberations in the air can be perceived and read by resonators who possess the resonance ability to do so, like Yang Yang or Jian. Reverberations are also how Tacet discords are born. The Etheric Sea has phases where it ebbs and flows, kind of like an ocean's high and low tide. On certain times of the day and in certain places, it's really concentrated, and there are also moments where it isn't. During high tide, a tacet field is created on the surface with a white strip connecting it to the Etheric Sea known as a resonance cord. This is where and how tacet discords are born, and the type of tacet discord that shows up largely depends on what kind of reverberation walks into it, and how long it takes for the tacet field to actually fully manifest. Yang Yang mentions that the tacet field that appears immediately has a long startup time. However, this means that more frequencies can be used, which translates to a stronger tacet discord. The opposite should be true, where a tacet field that appears slowly has a quicker startup time, birthing relatively weaker tacet discords. Everything that I've just described so far, the shifting of poles, the Etheric Sea phenomenon, the conversion of everything into frequencies, remnant energy, and the formation of tacet fields and discords are all related to the Lament. All of these anomalies that happen because of the Lament are called the wave-worn phenomenon. Think of it like the Lament being the disaster itself and the wave-worn phenomenon being the things that happen because of the Lament. Gravitational anomalies, tacet discord outbreaks, tacet field formation, Ren'Sita's dark tide, Honami's iridoglow, Lahiroi's void storms, the Etheric Sea, the list goes on and on. These are all the wave-worn phenomenon. So, to recap, because this has been quite a lot, the Etheric Sea is a Solaris exclusive weather event, and the Sky Ark was launched up to near orbit to do research on it. The intent was to figure out a way to use the remnant energy it is comprised of to innovate on space travel. The first Lament caused the Etheric Sea to go just from covering certain parts of the world to completely covering it up. This completely disabled humanity's ambitions for space travel because of the refractive nature of the Etheric Sea, making verification of space conditions impossible. It's kinda like jumping without looking. The first Lament also shifted Solaris' magnetic poles, turning Lahiroi, which was previously a rainforest, into a frozen desert. The Etheric Sea is made up of remnant energy, the purest form of frequencies. We don't really know why everything is frequencies yet, and all we have are assumptions. Depending on the Etheric Sea's conditions, a tacet field can show up, which will spawn tacet discords. All of the above can be traced to the Lament, which are all under the blanket term the wave-worn phenomenon. This has been my longest video, so if you liked it, please subscribe. Thank you!